The NBA currently has an incredible amount of young talent, which is great for us as basketball fans. Though what players stand above the rest? Now that we're deep in the offseason, I thought it would be fun to rank the 5 best players at each position who will be under 25 for this upcoming season. I did this series last year, and it will also be fun to see who has emerged or has graduated off the list. This time it's the big men, and we do have a player who graduated off the list, but there are a lot of unique talents to choose from, so the amount of depth here could really speak to the skill level of the current NBA. Now, with that said, let's take a look at the talented young big men the league currently has to offer. Like the other positions, there are a lot of honorable mention candidates. Zion Williamson graduated from last year's list and again showed incredible talent when he was on the floor. Though again, the durability aspect remains his biggest obstacle. Donovan Clingan played 20 minutes a game for the Portland Trailblazers as a rookie, and he provided an immediate impact as a defender. He'll likely be their starting center this season, so I'm really intrigued to see how his game continues to develop. Jalen Duren is only entering his age 22 season for the Pistons, and he's a very good rebounder, is dangerous around the rim, and can pass a bit as well, though there is still some room to grow on the defensive end. Mark Williams, like Duren, has room to improve defensively and has had injury trouble to start his career, though he's coming off the best season of his career offensively, and I'm intrigued to see how he fits in Phoenix after being traded to the Suns. Derek Lively was limited by injuries in his second season, but we've seen his ability to impact winning in high-stakes games. It will be interesting to see how he fits with the new-look Mavericks team that will have plenty of size. Then we have some players from the 2024 draft to keep an eye on, in Alex Sarr, Zach Edey, and Khalil Ware. All three have areas to improve, but in their own way showed intriguing flashes that will make them interesting to monitor this upcoming season and beyond. Now, with that said, let's get to the list. With the top 4 players in this list being pretty much established, the biggest question was who was going to come in at number 5. That will be none other than Walker Kessler of the Utah Jazz. Walker this past season was a full-time starter for the first time in his career. Not surprisingly, he posted a lot of career highs, and on a per-game basis, was 5th in the NBA in rebounds, while leading the league in offensive rebounding. Kessler was dangerous scoring off of offensive boards, and effective when utilized on cuts. Though at 7 feet tall and 245 pounds, he was also very efficient when utilized in transition. While the Jazz struggled defensively, being a younger team, Kessler has shown a lot on that end of the floor so far in his career. He's very capable of both blocking and altering shots with his length, but has also shown the ability to defend various actions at a high level, whether it's post-ups or something such as pick and roll. Walker has room to grow as a shooter, but aside from that, there's a lot to like. He's been the center of trade rumors for a few years now, but it's easy to see why, as Kessler has a skill set that impacts winning and figures to be a building block for the Jazz long-term as he enters a contract year. Coming in at 4 on the list is Alperen Sengun, who in a typical class of young big men would be much higher on the list. The 23-year-old was an offensive hub for a Rockets team that was the 2nd seed in the West last year, and he even made his first All-Star game. Sengun's very dangerous in the post, where he not only showed improved efficiency as a scorer this past season, but can also create for others with his passing. The same goes for his ability when handling the ball off the dribble, where he was even scoring out of pick and roll in a small sample. While Alperen's defense was viewed as a question mark earlier in his career, he has gotten better on this end based on both the eye test and advanced metrics, which is a huge boost given the Rockets' defensive identity they've established on that end, though he still has room to grow as a three-point shooter, paired with what last year was a shocking drop-off in shooting percentage in shots 3 to 10 feet from the basket, and struggled compared to career averages on shots from 10 to 16 feet away as well. He should bounce back there, and I'd assume with Kevin Durant now in the picture, the offense won't run through Sengun as frequently this upcoming season, though there's plenty of reason to believe he'll be considered an all-star caliber player for the foreseeable future. Chet Holmgren checks in at number 3, which is more of a reflection of how his season went as opposed to his talent. Before suffering a pelvic fracture 10 games into the year, Chet looked like he was on his way to an all-star caliber season. He was averaging an efficient 18 points and 9 rebounds, while shooting 40% from 3, and providing the game-altering defensive ability that he's capable of. Unfortunately, after returning from injury, Holmgren's offensive output was more inconsistent, but as we saw in the playoffs, he was still capable of big performances and could be a difference maker on that end. While the offensive output was inconsistent, the same can't be said defensively, where Chet continued to provide elite play in both the regular season and playoffs, as he showcased his rare blend of size, lateral movement, and length. While some might question Holmgren's ability to defend around the rim given his frame, he remained fantastic at altering or blocking shots around the basket, as his mix of length and timing not only alters shots, but could prevent opponents from taking them altogether. Given that he'll have time to fully recover this offseason, I wouldn't be stunned if Chet elevates his game this year and earns some personal accolades as the Thunder look to repeat as NBA Finals champions. Many basketball fans were waiting for the Evan Mobley breakout season, and we got it last year, which leads to him checking in at number 2 on the list. Listed at 6'11", Evan has a very unique skill set with his ability to contribute in all facets, and he had already proven to be an all-defensive team caliber defender. So the question many had was when he'd make an offensive leap. We saw it this past year, as Mobley's usage rate went up, and he averaged 18.5 points a game, and not only did he take more threes, but he made 37% of them. That doesn't even account for his ability as a passer, and that he can do things like attack closeouts at his size. Evan was also named Defensive Player of the Year this past season, where he served as the anchor on that end of the floor for a Cavaliers team that went 64-18. Mobley has the size and lateral movement to defend various positions, but also has the length and anticipation that makes him dangerous altering shots or passing lanes. Not surprisingly, the Cavaliers were 6 points better per 100 possessions when he was on the floor this past season, which was the highest mark among their primary rotation players. Evan made his first All-Star and All-NBA teams this past year, and don't be surprised if this is just the first of many, as he projects to be one of the league's best players for the foreseeable future. While a blood clot led to his season ending prematurely, there was no doubt that Victor Wembanyama was going to be number 1 on the list. Wemby already showed a terrifying skill set as a rookie that was just as good as expected. His blend of size, anticipation, movement, and length helped him live up to all the billing defensively, and before being ruled out for the season, he was the favorite to win Defensive Player of the Year. Though the terrifying thing is that he got even better offensively. Victor not only attempted more shots while cutting down on turnovers, but his efficiency took a big leap as well. This was in large part due to his growth as an outside shooter. After making 32.5% of his three-point attempts as a rookie, Wembanyama shot 35% from deep on nearly 9 attempts per game in year 2. A large part of that was due to a drastic improvement shooting off the catch, and he is capable of shooting off the dribble as well. Though as a result of Wembanyama taking more threes, his free throw rate declined, though eventually, I'd figure he's going to take at least 6 or so a game for his career, given that he didn't get to play much with De'Aaron Fox after the trade that sent him to the Spurs last February. I'm fascinated to see how that duo looks this year, though it's important to remember, despite all the hype, Wembanyama only turns 22 in January, and given the growth he's already shown from year 1 to year 2, it could be terrifying to see what he's capable of even a few years from now. That wraps up my top 5 big men under 25 heading into this upcoming season. The players mentioned have a wide array of skills for their size, which makes this an unprecedented time, and given that all these players still have room to improve, it gives us as basketball fans a lot to be optimistic about long term. If you had any thoughts on the rankings or players you thought deserved to be mentioned, leave them in the comments, as it's going to be a lot of fun watching these players continue to ascend this upcoming season and beyond. If you made it this far, thank you, and if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe to stay up to date with my latest in-depth NBA analysis.